Hello, this is the TradeSite Forex Market Preview and International Economic Data Roadmap for the week beginning Sunday, July 21st and ending Friday, July 26, 2019. Here's a look at the dollar index daily chart. Still has gone nowhere. We talked about the fact that it's been stuck in about a 3-point range for almost a year now, and that's about the narrowest I think I've ever seen it. We talked last weekend about how bad the average daily ranges on the major pairs have gotten, so Forex is definitely not that interesting. And unfortunately, we're into the time of year. There's usually about a 6-week window where it's dead anyways, between middle of July and through August, as a lot of the big money around the world takes their vacations. So I don't have anything good news wise to share with you there. But let's go through the major daily charts and then we'll look at the intra-week action. We'll talk about what's coming out in the week ahead. So here's the euro dollar, which is the inverse of the dollar index. Really no action at all there. The pound dollar bounced right off that risk line from the 13 buy signal that we got. Perfect technical action there so far off that signal. So far that looks at least like it should try to go higher, but we'll see. Aussie dollar climbed a little bit this week, but nothing major. The euro yen, new lows basically, not including that spike back at the first of the year. Pound yen got a 13 buy signal this week. We'll see if that leads to anything. Interesting when both of the pound yen and the pound dollar have buy signals, right? Pound Swiss also got a buy signal, although it's playing with that risk line, and the New Zealand dollar was up this week. All right, let's look at the intra-week action. So here's 30-minute candles, and here's the bad news. High to low for the week on the euro dollar was about 80 pips. That's the entire week. Remember, it's usually 130 pips, 120 to 130 pips per day is the average on the euro dollar. So that's how narrow things are. The only real moves were Tuesday on the way down and Thursday on the way back up. The rest of it was even worse. The pound dollar did trade 200 pips to range, which is a little bit better. We made some money there twice this week. We had a couple of days without calls because the levels were so bunched from flat action, but still a green week for Forex. Just wasn't that interesting or exciting overall. All right, now in terms of the economic calendar for the week ahead, let's have a look and go through it. German Bubba monthly report at 6 a.m. on Monday. Nothing on Sunday night. Wholesale sales out of Canada. Bank of Japan core CPI. This is already into Tuesday. There's almost no data on Monday at all. CBI industrial order expectations out of the UK. 10-year bond auction out of the UK. The housing price index here in the US at 9 a.m. Eastern time on Tuesday. Existing home sales an hour later, along with the Richmond manufacturing index. CB leading index out of Australia, trade balance out of New Zealand that night, Australia's flash manufacturing and services PMI numbers, and then we go around the world with all that. Japan, France, Germany, the broad European sector, all doing the same thing over the night. High street lending in the UK, CB leading index out of China, Belgian NBB business climate number at 9 a.m. Eastern time on Wednesday. We got flash manufacturing and services PMI numbers here out of the U.S. then at 9:45 a.m. on Wednesday. New home sales at 10. Crude oil inventories, that's the weekly number at 10:30. That night, Japan does their SPPI. Nothing there. Spanish unemployment rate out of Europe, it's 3 a.m. Thursday morning, Eastern time. German business climate numbers, CBI realized sales out of the UK. Main refinancing rate and the monetary, so the ECB, that's what they're calling it now, their rate announcement and press conference, the equivalent of the Fed over there. Core durable goods orders here in the U.S., along with goods trade balance, preliminary wholesale inventories, the weekly initial and continuing jobless claims numbers, all at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time on Thursday. Natty gas at 10:30. Tokyo core CPI out of Japan. German going into Friday, just two numbers. German import prices, but the big one, the first look, this is the advanced GDP number. So this is the first look at second quarter GDP. Currently expected to be 1.8. We'll see if it beats. This one matters more than the revisions that come out. So this is a big number. We'll be half size ahead of that number Thursday night going into Friday, and that already will wrap up the week. So not exactly the most news-driven week of the year. And again, we're in that time of year where things are generally slow anyways. Charts as usual brought to you by eSignal. If you've not yet taken a trial of our services, feel free to do so. We will help you out for a couple of weeks. Have a great trading floor.